Welcome to another video. My name is Kyri, and today I want to talk about a topic that you likely won't find in that way a lot on YouTube. Maybe you don't find it at all. And it's about the truth or about running a bot, or basically what it means to run a trading bot in production for years. And I know there are many YouTubers or many videos on YouTube and a lot of content online about trading bots, how to make one, how to get rich with one, how to make $1,000 a day with arbitrage bots and whatever. But honestly, I'm kind of certain that at least 99% of those bots and that content is likely fake. I'm not saying a scam, but most of it is at least in a not in that experience and not giving that results in reality. Best case, the creators don't even know it themselves, but you never know. And why is it like that? I think mainly because people who run trading bots, especially one successful trading bots, are usually not talking about it. Why? The big question is, why should anybody who runs a trading bot or who is successful trading really talk about it? Mainly, if you talk about your profits or positive results in trading, or especially with bots, you get a lot of negative feedback, a lot of people getting jealous, and it's just not worth it, right? Because you talk about it, and all you get back is hate, and you have no upside. Basically, or generally, traders and people on the markets have a pretty good feeling for risk reward and looking for their upside in the whole thing. And why should you talk about a trading bot, a successful trading bot, unless you want to sell it, right? Yes, I know I'm talking about a bot and I don't want to sell it. It's actually open source and everything. Why do I do that? Honestly, I asked myself that a lot. When I started my journey and started coding the bot and everything, I often had the point, or I had the feeling that I would love to read or get content from someone who did it before. Not to copy stuff, but just to get an impression on what it's like, what to look for, or what to expect and everything. Back then, I decided that if I get the experience, I will share the experience with others who have a same mindset and who could benefit from it. So that's what I'm doing. If you get value out of it, good for you. If not, not good for you. I'm not getting really a lot out of that, besides having a good feeling in knowing that I share my experience, because I had people in the beginning that talked with me about stuff and helped me in things, so I wanted to just pay that forward. Maybe a bit background when I say no one else is talking about it and you don't hear it somewhere, and it's all scam. Why is mine not scam? Well, you have to decide for yourself what is a scam and what not. Maybe my background, I started trading, I started to look into trading and everything already, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. And I went into, and back then I also did trading bots on the traditional markets. They never went live. That was during university and didn't have enough money to put them live. I didn't want to risk anything, but I had a lot of coding experience there. And around 8 years ago, I started looking deeper into Bitcoin again, and started trading there. Tried to get rich there, didn't get rich there with trading, but got a lot of trading experience, and then started automating it. If you want to get more insights into that. On the one hand, I have a Medium blog where I wrote a lot about that back then. Also, I did the video about the truth about becoming a trader and how I tried and failed, basically. So there's also, if you didn't watch that video, I recommend that you do that before you watch this video, because I will likely reference some stuff and use some terminology that I explained there. So if you have no idea about that, maybe watch the other video first. Yeah, with that short summary of my journey, I started trading. I failed in trading manually. I realized that I have a profitable strategy, but I'm not able to stick to the strategy manually. So I automated the strategy. I realized that I can fully automate it, and a bit over 4 years ago, I think now it's nearly 5 years ago, I started running a fully automated trading bot with that strategy. Back then, I also did some errors and everything, but I will talk about that now. So this video is basically about my experience from the last 5 years of running a fully automated trading bot on Bitcoin, and what went well, what didn't, and maybe trying to give you a bit of an insight on what it really is about if you go that path, and if you, what to expect if you're going for an trading bot and everything. Maybe also one thing, what I'm talking about here is a trading bot that I wrote myself. I wrote it from scratch. I didn't take any existing, I basically didn't even use any trading library or anything, because I only trust, when it comes to trading bots, when it comes to stuff that manages my money, I tend to only trust my own stuff, or where I at least understand every line in the code and know what's going on. So, because if something goes wrong, I want to understand why and be responsible for it. I don't like to lose money because other people fucked up. And that's, yeah, so that's about that. So this is not about, I don't know, renting a bot on a platform and running it, taking a bot from some central exchange who offers different bots and running it. There might be similarities in the experience, but yeah, it's different. So just so you know that. As a quick overview, or at the start, as I said, my trading bot journey started 2017 with Bitcoin. Back then, into the hype, right? Everybody was genius. Everybody was trying to get rich. Me too. And then came the bear market. As a trader, I was like, yeah, up or down, volatility is what makes you profits, right? And I still managed to make a bit of a money there, but I gave it all back as a learning when the market got less easy, but realized that the strategy itself is possible to automate. So I tried to automate it, and 2020 I then started running the fully automated version, I think beginning of 2020. And then the trouble, or then the topics began. Maybe a bit that's now a back test. Yeah, it was from this beginning. So when I automated this thing, I started, and that's something I would recommend for everyone. If you want to automate a strategy, if you find a strategy, because whenever it comes to anything in trading, it's always your logic. It's always your strategy. Yes, as I said in another video, your emotions play a big role and everything, but without a strategy, you are lost. A successful strategy is nothing if you can't execute it. We come to that. But if you are the best trader, you also need a strategy. And a strategy, you find a strategy by screen time, looking at the stuff. You don't find a strategy by watching a YouTube video that tells you about a strategy, because you don't know if the strategy fits your mindset and everything. So you have to try it out. You have to backtest it manually and everything. And for that, TradingView is a great tool. And also TradingView has a simple way of coding a strategy and executing backtests on it. I would never recommend to run a production bot with Pine code or anything. So Pine is the coding language in TradingView. But for quick backtesting, for analyzing and everything, because you have the whole charts, everything there. So I can really recommend that. To build your indicators in TradingView, build your strategy in TradingView, and try it out, see what's happening. And that's what I did at 2019. And as you see, I mean, that's now the backtest into 2021. But as you see, this made a nice profit. I think it was 138% in this. As I said, this is all with a grain of salt in TradingView, because you never know what executions you really would have. So in reality, it will always be different. Not only the reality is different in a backtest, but also reality on a central exchange with your own trading bot, with a real execution and everything, is different than the TradingView framework. But it gives you an indication what's happening, what's going on, right? So there, I would really recommend that for quick testing, for fast iterations, and see that. And yeah, that's what I did. I had that, and I was like, okay, this looks fully automatable, because also when you start implementing the strategy there, you find out all the open topics in your strategy. What do you need to define? Where do you still do it manually? Where do you still have a gut feeling or anything and have a manual part in the execution? And sometimes you can't get rid of that. Sometimes the tools can just support you. Sometimes you find a way around it. But that's what you can do with PineScript when you implemented that. So that's what I did there. And then I found out, okay, this is a fully automatable strategy. I have everything there in the Pine strategy, and I could try to run it. And then I decided, okay, let's do that. Let's try to run it, and I implemented it in Python. Yes, again, Python, if you are performance sensitive person and want to do arbitrage trading on central exchanges or anything where milliseconds count, then you don't want to do Python on a production system. But Python is also, again, a perfect language to quickly get real code done and quickly get a real bot done to test it out, for example. And also for strategies that are not that time sensitive. As you see, my strategy runs on the 4-hour chart. And so every 4 hours, there might be a trigger to do something or not. And even then, it's a stop entry order. So there is no time sensitive stuff that I need to react in milliseconds or anything. So for me, it was a perfect balance to have easy code, easily scriptable or doable code environment, and run it on the server with no hassle and everything. So I can write C, I also write C++ and everything. So I could do it in a more efficient way. But for me, honestly, running it on Python with the existing frameworks that you have there for connecting to a server, the requests, packages and everything, makes it far easier to code. So I can focus on strategy, so I can focus on the logic of my code and not have to worry about all the stuff around building, getting on a server, having the right compilation and everything. So that's why I chose Python for that. And I had different exchanges back then. In the end, and that's a fun fact, funny thing kind of, because I ran it on Bybit, I ran it on Binance, and I think Femex back then. I don't know if that still exists. And it's basically the same strategy, but optimized for different for the different charts, for the different backtests. You know, the whole framework that I wrote the framework, the bot framework and everything myself, includes possibilities for backtesting and everything. So all the knowledge, all the experience that I had from writing trading bots back then at the university got into this experience. So I already knew the topics about backtesting and everything. And I wrote the framework, I backtested it, I got the different parameters for different exchanges, ran it, and over time, basically everything but Bybit failed. All the other bots and also everything but Bitcoin on Bybit. So this strategy works Bitcoin on Bybit, or worked back then, definitely. But the others, Ethereum on Bybit, XRP on Bybit, Bitcoin on Binance and stuff like that. When the interface and everything was fine, but it didn't make profit. Don't ask me why, I didn't look deeper into it, but something was different. Anyway, I started on Bybit there, or I have it on Bybit, and it ran. And the kind of best and worst thing that can happen to you in the beginning is if you make money. And there, again, as I already said in the other video about my learnings and problems, I started, and you see there that's time-wise it's starting 1st of January 2020, and this is now in risk, so in risk references. As you see, it got up. It was within a few months, it was up 40%. And maybe also as a reference, because often people say you make 40% with a trading bot in a year. That's nothing. If you just hold the Bitcoin, you make more. This one's on the inverse perpetual. If you think in Bitcoin, if your denomination is Bitcoin, I would also recommend to run your strategy, to do your trading and everything coin margined on a perpetual, so on the inverse perpetual, as they call it on Bybit, or coin margin perpetuals or futures, like they call it on other exchanges, because then your profit and loss is in Bitcoin and your account grows in Bitcoin. So actually, when you see here a 40%, if you say 1R is 1% for easier talking, because if you say 40% up, it means my Bitcoin, this bot run on a Bitcoin position, on a Bitcoin account, and the amount of Bitcoin of the bot that the bot owns increased by 40%. So if Bitcoin also increased in value, the dollar value of the bot increased even more, which is nice. But here I started doing the first fuck-ups, or the first errors, because it went up. I was like, oh, crazy, this is great. Was also a reasonable or considerable size for my net worth that the bot traded on compared. So it was, a nice profit, say it this way. It was really, it was not, of course, not all my net worth and everything, but it was a considerable amount. And that was 40% up, and it was ecstatic. I was like, calculating how rich I will be at the end of the year. And it was like, if I now increase the risk and say, give the bot more money to work with, it will be even more, right? Because if you make 40% on $100, it's $40. If you make 40% on $1,000, it's $400, which is more. So let's just increase the risk and the amount. And of course, I did that exactly on the local top, and afterwards it dropped down, which is why it dropped down quite strongly. Luckily, it came back up, but yeah, I got a bit cocky, say it this way, and like everything's great and awesome, and I make so much money with that, and I will be rich soon. And then it was beginning, as you see here, beginning of 2021, where the bot just made another big profit. And I was like, oh, 100% in 1 year. So that was the big number, 100% in the first year of trading the bot. And I increased risk again and again. It was, of course, at the top. And then the bot had a bit of a longer drawdown. And due to the increased risk, it went down a lot, which is painful to watch if your Bitcoin stack that you have in the account in the bot is reducing like that. So that was the first 1.5 years, and I was devastated, because I ran it up 100% and then ran it back down to nearly back to zero, near back to plus minus zero. And next to that, beside that, I was still trading manual, and my manual trades also failed dramatically. So I lost a lot there, and then decided that it's all a scam or it's all bad, and I'm not able to do that, and stopped trading. And also was super pissed on the bot, and decided that I don't want to run it anymore. But on the other hand, I was like, but I want to know if it would work if I don't mess up and what it does on the long run. So there I did the best thing that you can do for a bot, if you're a bot trader, basically, because you should have a bot in a position size that you don't care about. Especially a bot like that does drawdowns of a few months, where you don't care, where you should not care about it. So what I did is I basically reduced 90%, or even more, I think it was 90% of the account of the bot, and Bitcoin was down too, so that was in dollars a really low amount then. I reduced that to that amount, adapted the risk parameters, because that's also the nice thing about trading strategy. You just adapt the risk parameter and everything is fine again, or everything runs, and just let it run in the background. It ran there, or it sits there with the settings I had in the beginning. And that's also something. Here in the first year, I spent a lot of time watching the bot, optimizing the bot, trying to find better strategies, new strategies, better settings for the strategy, did backtests on the new results and everything, and tried to optimize. And of course, usually I didn't make it better, I make it worse. And that's also what messed up a bit of the performance, because I always try to chase more returns and everything. Also, something that happened back then, trading bots were all the craze and everybody was running for trading bots, and there were platforms where you could rent a bot. And I was like, cool, people do that and my bot is running and makes a nice profits, 100% in a year. That's not too bad. Let's try to get onto such a platform. Because if I make money with the bot and others want to rent it, why not, right? And the fun fact is, I applied there, and back then there were strategies that did 100% in a month. And the backtest, if you know something about bots, the backtest looked like shit, because it was one success and then everything else was losers. So it looked super optimized and overfitted. But people wanted that, and people got in for that. And the platform, I told them my backtest result, or my results, and they were like, "Yeah, that's not that great. We're looking for more active and more volatile stuff." So I actually didn't get any spot there. In hindsight, maybe it's better, because I think not many of them survived, and I likely would have a lot of trouble with people complaining if you are in a drawdown of 1 or 2 months, because no one reads the risk disclaimers and everything. So you get a lot of angry people with nearly no upside. So in hindsight, maybe it's better that I wasn't accepted there. But just to give you a bit of a insights there, what it's like, right? So sometimes even a bot that makes 100% a year is considered a bad bot. And if you can double your money in a year, that's usually should be great. But that was that, where I said, okay, then I stick to just me running the bot, not talking to anyone about it, not having to deal with any others. There were some others who ran my bot, because I forgot to say that my bot is open source. I open sourced the framework, the strategy, everything. The only thing that I don't share is the exact parameters that I run, because in my opinion, no one should take the bot and just run it without knowing what they're doing, because then they likely lose money, because they don't understand drawdowns, they don't understand the risks and everything. So anyone who wants to use the bot, anyone who wants to try it out, backtest it, understand the strategy, and then decide the settings for themselves and run it, feel free. It's all in the repo. It's really the code as I run it on my server for 5 years now, is exactly the code that in the repo. So there is no special handling or anything. But yeah, at your own risk, please really understand what the bot is doing before you run it. as I said, a few others won it. Unfortunately, I lost contact to all of them over the last bear market. I'm not sure if anybody's still running it. So if you are running it, please reach out. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's that. There are people and some run it, but I stopped basically a lot of interacting there and pushing it or anything because I was just pissed on the bot. I was pissed on the whole trading in total because it was all just losing me money, or it felt like I lost money because manually I lost money. The bot didn't lose overall, but it didn't make that much. So I reduced the risk and decided to just keep it, let it run, and don't look at it. Just let it run for a few years. And as I said, that was the best decision I had or ever did in this whole context, because I actually managed to do that. I actually managed to let it run. Don't interfere, don't do anything. In the beginning, I sometimes opened position for the bot because I thought that this stop loss or this being stopped out was unfair or anything. I never did that after reducing the risk. I was like, stop it. I just let it run, don't interfere, do nothing. And the fun thing is, I mean, it had long drawdowns. It had bad times, and I learned to deal with them because I learned to just let it run, and I was like, I don't care, right? I was like, if it loses that account, I don't care. So in the end, as you see here, I don't have a more strategy or more history back because, to be honest, I didn't look at it. I just looked at the amount, and I didn't record any history back there. And that's just all the trading history from this trading account, which I because I moved the bot to a different trading account September 2022. So I only have this history there. But I think it shows what the bot did in that time. Again, this is in cumulated R, so that's the risk reference. And as you see in the beginning, it's September 2022. And first it had a drawdown of 3 months. 3 months just down. It was down nearly 50% from the start of this trading account. I didn't care, right? I was like, if it loses all the money, it loses all the money. I had 50, I think I had 70 R on the account, and I was like, I will not send money in, so I will not add up any money. If it goes bankrupt, it goes bankrupt. I think it was close. It got to the point where it could not open another position sometimes because it was not enough margin available. But it was lucky enough to get a big winner when it was down 50%. And the winner, one big winner, and it got back up here. And what I also did during this time, because I emotionally didn't care, so I managed to do the right choices. I increased risks down here. I increased risks when I was in a more than 20 hour drawdown. And here again, it got up. It was like, okay, it managed to survive. But then again, here from, what is this? Something, likely June 2023 to, beginning 2024. So half a year drawdown until it reached the top again, or the high again. Again, wasn't 50% in total or 50R, but a lot. But as you see, the low got higher. Again, it pushed up, got a bit down, but again, higher low, and then a few winners again. Here again, early 2024, until it pushed totally up again, was September. So again, half a year of drawdown. And a big drawdown, again, as I said, that's, again, not 40%, not 50%, maybe 30, 40%, I don't know. As I said, I didn't care that much, but it managed to go up. Again, the next low, again, higher than before. So you see a nice increase, I always increased risk down here. And now this last move from 70K to 100K in Bitcoin, he catch that completely. So I'm now up, and maybe that was in November, so maybe it will take until May to get a new high. So maybe we go down here and only increase in May back up. But that's fine for me, because I'll just let it run. And I know now, and with this 5 years of experience in running the bot, I know I can trust the bot. Or I trust the bot, say it this way. And I am honestly, emotionally on a state where I say, if it now goes to 0 and loses everything that's in there, because I took out 100R, because I don't need that much on that account. So it's just trading on free money now. I don't have any risk in there anymore. Even not only, as I said in the beginning, I'm like, okay, that's the money that's risked there, and I don't care about it. It's really, he made a profit for me, and if it's just running and I don't have to do anything, it ran for 5 years now with little to no maintenance. I just had to once update the API code, because Bybit updated the API, but that's it. So I let it run, and if it now continues like that and makes me 50 to 100R a year, that's fine for me. If not, it's also fine. But I think it shows how important it is to just don't care. You need to have it on a level where you say, I love it if it makes money, if I get a nice outcome from it, but I don't have to rely on it. I don't need the bot to make a living for me, because if you have that, you likely mess it up, over optimize things. And that's basically the experience. So in summary, as I said in the beginning, 2020, then I started with automating it. 2021, I reduced the funds after I messed up the risk management. And then till now, I just let it run in the background. And this really was the game changer. Also from 2022 till now, I used all the experience I got from running the bot, having a bot and everything, to dig deeper into arbitrage bots, which on one hand helped me ignore the trading bot, because it was like, I have enough to keep me busy, and also arbitrage bots are good to try to get rich and make money. Also doesn't work that easy, but it was a nice thing. So it helped me ignore that, and on the other hand, I was now able to diversify kind of my bot portfolio, with different bots running on different exchanges, and with exchanges I mean decentralized mainly. So on decentralized exchanges, and doing arbitrage on different scenarios, which was also a nice thing. But also a word of warning, arbitrage is super competitive. So the only way where I'm currently able to have successful arbitrage bots on super niche areas where not many others are involved. And that's where my setup, my technical stuff is good enough. So my stack is good enough, and my coding is good enough. As soon as you go into any bigger stuff, so arbitrage between central exchanges or on highly used decentralized exchanges, you have a lot of competition, with a lot of money, resources, and therefore power behind that. So don't think that you can easily outsmart them. It's possible, I guess, but not that easy. So if anyone comes up and says they have an arbitrage bot and you can get it for just $100, or you can rent it for just $100 a month, be really, really careful, because usually those are fake. Arbitrage traders, arbitrage bot traders do not talk about it. They don't tell you about it, and they certainly won't take your money for it, because they usually are struggling to get their volume in themselves, so they don't have any capacity left to give you their profits. Because if they take your money, it means they get less volume through themselves and have to share the profits, which arbitrage traders or traders generally don't want to do. So be careful there. Yes, that's basically the experience. That's the stuff I wanted to tell you. Maybe another thing, why am I doing this now? Yeah, I realized that the bot is running and that the bot is successful, and basically remembered my roots, that I said I actually wanted to share these experiences and the things I learned. So I'm trying to go back to that and back to the roots, share my bot experiences, my trading experiences, and hope that it helps the one or other to not make my mistakes or even learn from my experiences. And with that, we come to the point of what's next, because I'm planning to do a bit more content on the topic, and you can basically decide now. I mean, I will do all of that in the coming time. The question is what to start with. So my plan is, on the one hand, I could talk about the details on my strategy, how I developed my strategy, how I came to my strategy, and what it's doing. Just don't get overexcited. It's no holy grail or anything, and it likely won't make you rich. And it should not be I tell you my strategy, and you try to follow it and trade it and do anything about it. It's just so you learn from my experience how I developed my strategy, not just follow the strategy. But if you want to listen to me talking about how I developed my strategy, that would be that option. The other thing is that I am now using BitTrue a lot because of listings of tokens and projects that I'm involved with. And so I started using BitTrue and I like it. It's quite, from the API and everything, it's, in my opinion, quite similar to Bybit, so I'm feeling familiar there. And I thought about adapting the framework to also use BitTrue and do some kind of comparison to run the bot on Bybit and run it on BitTrue and see if there are still such big differences with all the things I know now from the beginnings, if it's possible to run the same bot on both and have if there are still different outcomes, or if I get the same results, similar results, just the same experiment. And the other thing that I'm looking forward to is mixing central exchange bot and decentralized trading, because we have this LeverageX trading platform, which is a decentralized trading platform where you can basically bet on prices on charts. And I'm thinking about adapting the framework that I use the triggers from Bybit. So the same triggers as the Bybit bot, but executed on a decentralized platform. And then also compare there what's the difference if you can run it there, because I love decentralized trading and it would be great if you can do that. And it's the easiest way to just use the triggers and everything from the existing central exchange data and just execute the triggers on a decentralized platform. So that would be the other one. Or something else. So leave a comment what you want to see next, what you are interested in. If there's something else that you want me to talk about, don't ask me for price predictions, because I'm usually bad at this. But except for that, ask me anything. So with that, I hope anyone got value out of that. Thanks for listening, and see you in the next video.